this subject is very important, Amanji, because it sets the context for something that is, like I said, very pertinent today, the Central Vista project, right? So people say that the Central Vista project will destroy the heritage of the new city of Delhi, New Delhi, and the character of the city, and so on and so forth. Now, your extensive, your exhaustive, what you've just told us has proven that there is a lot that we actually don't know about the city, and some of the things that we've been fed are not really true. So what have you got to say about this contention that some people have, that with this project, the Central Vista project, the heritage and the character of the city will be lost? What is your stand on that?
I think that, people would have normally accepted it, but there has been a conscious misinformation plan in the press. And I think they talked about all this toolbox that the Congress government did. And the Western media is very receptive to the Congress government for a host of reasons, because of Mr. Nehru and his eminence in Indira Gandhi, and then, Sonia Gandhi and so on. So when they send out something, they take it very literally. So there's been a lot of misinformation. It's hard to address in such a small program, but maybe I could take just one example of The Guardian in London. So, The Guardian was a weekly which was started in 1821, and it became a daily in 1855. Starting from one corner, and it became a prominent newspaper. So their motto is that comment is free, but facts are sacred. All right. And in all these platitudes that they flaunt from their high horse, they say that they produce trustworthy journalism, offering a counterweight to the spread of misinformation. It can't be more ironic that they have spread more misinformation on this subject than anybody could imagine. So they come out, they get Anish Kapoor, who is a sculptor, installation maker, who was educated in Doon School, Dehradun, where I taught briefly. He's a person I'm acquainted with on his visits to Delhi, and the whole world looks up to him because he's done amazing optical illusions. He's placed 11-meter steel mirrors in the countryside outside the Rockefeller Center, and he's got the kind of reviews he gets, you cannot imagine. So suddenly we get a heading which says, no, then what happens is he gets knighted by the Queen on her birthday. And I was really wondering, why would Anish Kapoor, what does knighting mean? The Queen puts this sword on your shoulder. She doesn't poke you in the eye. She doesn't make you blind. So when you are born in India, know India so well, how can you suddenly, on the 4th of June, people open the newspaper and they're shocked to say that, Hindu Taliban Modi raises Lutyens' parliament, there were 4 mistakes in the headline itself, The parliament is not made by Lutyens, it's made by Harvard Baker. And he said, this is Islamophobia, whatever, of Modi. It has no Islamic influence. It is actually inspired from a Chhattis Yogini temple, which is circular, which are in Madhya Pradesh, which have pillars, which Baker is reputed to have visited, and we have evidence of all this. So where are all these facts coming from, And the Guardian prints this on the 4th of June and keeps this for 2 weeks before withdrawing it after the damage is done. So people are then on the WhatsApp universe
already up in arms about it. Yes,
everybody's saying, and I have a nephew in Paris who rings me and says, it's a shame, that all the trees are going. I said, not one tree is going. And since we're talking trees, it'll be interesting. I'll tell you that my maternal grandfather worked for the British government, and it was a tender was floated to plant the trees, which he won. So all the trees that people are talking about were grown by my maternal grandfather. And there was a Britisher called Mustoe, and Mustoe. And my grandfather was called Meyer. He was called HNS Meyer, which sounds rather like the name of a ship or something. So if I was an adult at that moment, I would have written a little book called Mustoe and Meyer, giving credit to the British and the Indian who grow it. So talking about trees again, there was an amazing man called Clutterbuck.
Clutterbuck, yes.
Clutterbuck, who lived, there is a Clutterbuck Bagh in Allahabad. He was the greatest Indian specialist of Indian trees in horticulture, and Harding looked up to him. So Harding asks him for help. He produces a list of 97 Indian trees, jamun and mango and whatever. And of course, Edwin Lutyens is not happy, because he wanted to put English shrubs.
English trees.
The usual story. So he says, he goes and meets the Governor General behind his back, and he says, these trees are not going to last more than 10, 15 years. And they were planted because Harding didn't listen to him. And it's going to be 100 years, because from 1931, it'll be 2031, and they are flourishing, and it's a forest.
And they're not going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere. So I actually was very upset, because I also read The Guardian here and there, and it comes out of Farrington Road. And I said on the 4th of June, when they published this nonsense article, their address should be changed to Fartington Road. Because they have no business to, write rubbish about India, rubbish about our prime minister.
And that is poor journalism on their part too, because, and this is something that is happening with all the big names in journalism, in the print medium. If you look at, Washington Post or the New York Times, I think they're just taking things for granted and really they're misrepresenting the news. So I think, I think they need to be taken on at some point. I agree.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.